Hi everyone, KNWA and Fox 24 Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff. I want to give you this webcast extra because we're going to have a little wild weather over the weekend, and you're probably already seeing the winter storm watch for eastern counties of northwest Arkansas, also portions of the River Valley. But we not only have the chance of freezing rain, we have the potential for thunderstorms, and me personally, I think some severe weather. I'll show you why, and then a wintry mix on Sunday. That's going to be followed by cold weather and possibly another big winter storm by the end of next week. That's why I'm giving you this webcast extra to get you caught up on all the latest. So first of all, we have a winter storm watch that's in effect for Johnson, Newton, as well as Boone County. That is for 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening. That's for eastern counties of our viewing area. And then for Logan and Scott County, it starts at midnight tomorrow night and into early Friday afternoon until 3 o'clock. The farther north you go, the later the precipitation continues. It's a real interesting setup because we're going to have that potential for freezing rain, and I'll show you why. So you know how cold it was on this Wednesday due to northwest flow, winds whipping up, wind chills in the teens. So it's been cold, and basically a good portion of the central and eastern section of the United States has been infiltrated by this northwest flow, and a very large trough of low pressure, making things very cold across a good portion of the country. Now on the west coast, though, it's an opposite story. It's very warm. And you can see portions of the subtropical jet, which is actually off to our west, and a little ridge in the jet. This is the subtropical jet. This is going to bring some moisture into the area as we move into our Friday, especially in the morning. Water vapor looks eerily similar to what we saw over this past weekend on Sunday into Monday as these little embedded short waves start to move through northwest flow. We can already see some of those short waves starting to move in and dive in. Here's one low pressure system that's going to be affecting us as we move into our Friday. It's already just off the coast of the United States. It's a developing low that's going to be moving southeastward in that northwest flow. And that's going to bring the potential for freezing rain. Now on Thursday, everything is going to be quiet, but watch the future track here and watch the cloud cover build in from the southwest on our Friday morning. Now, of course, it's northwest flow, so you know the future track is underdoing the amount of precipitation. Personally, I think there will already be areas of freezing rain that develop across the River Valley and as well as northwest Arkansas. And look at those temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, so it will be cold enough at the beginning Friday morning for that freezing rain. You can see a few splotches of pink there. That's that wintry mix of freezing rain and sleet most likely. As we move in throughout the morning, temperatures will start to warm, but again, this precipitation is not enough. According to the future track, it should be more, and northwest flow is a tricky weather pattern, and I think we displayed that last time, that the models underdo the amount of precipitation. So as we move throughout Friday afternoon, and that's why that winter storm watch continues until the early afternoon, because temperatures will warm up above freezing by Friday afternoon. Now on Friday evening, things get even more interesting. We got more rain that's moving in, and I want to show you this. Humidity will be returning back to the area on Saturday. Now, you might be seeing some varying forecasts for the weekend. Me personally, I think we get close to 60 degrees on Saturday in northwest Arkansas, and the River Valley could see mid-60s, possibly even into the lower 70s. Why is this? Gulf moisture will be pumping in across the area, and believe it or not, after a chilly start to Friday morning, we warm up dramatically. In fact, look at that dew point, 59 degrees dew point. That is extremely humid for this time of the year, and with the energy swinging in from the west, this is really going to be a bona fide dry line that's off to our west. And then the cold front is just to the northwest of that. So this is a severe weather setup. Granted, you might not see a risk on the Storm Prediction Center for day 4 at this point, but I think that's going to change. Let me show you the future track. Rain looks likely during the morning hours. Look at the collision of the cold air masses, warm and cold. You got cold and snow in Kansas, and it literally is going to be downright warm on Saturday afternoon. Now look at what happens. Thunderstorms develop along that dry line. There is going to be plenty of wind shear and also some instability. Capes are going to be approaching about 1,000 joules per kilogram, and some of that will be surface-based, and the models may be underdoing that amount of cape that produces. So I think storm spotters might be making a run to eastern Oklahoma for developing thunderstorms east of a dry line, and even the wind shear is tremendous that could provide the potential for some rotating thunderstorms. Then beyond that, we have some active weather for the middle towards the end of next week. We're talking the 26th, the 27th of February. Let me show you why. So here we have the future track. This is basically showing the jet stream and the way that the jet stream flows in this weather pattern. Now, what happens during the early part of next week, and first of all, you can see this nose of the jet off to our west. So this is Saturday afternoon. Here comes this nose of the jet that swings in, interacts with all that moisture and humidity, and thunderstorms are going to erupt in eastern Oklahoma, southwest Arkansas, west central Arkansas, and that's going to bring that potential for severe weather. Now, as we move along here, there's the jet stream nosing in, and it's a stout one, and it's got a lot of moisture to work with. Then we get cold on Sunday, and look at this jet developing. So now we've got the front moving through the area with the potential for freezing rain and sleet for very, very limited time on Sunday, as this weather system will most likely move off to the east pretty quickly. Now, on Monday afternoon and into the evening, you will notice a low pressure system. Now, this low pressure system is going to essentially be cut off from the major low, from the jet stream. So we've got the jet stream flowing from northwest to southeast. This low is sitting all by itself and spinning around, but it comes back. As you will see, we take away the time, and notice this low pressure system organizing intensity, and now we've got the cold air that's blasting in from the northwest. So this is a very cold air mass that will be working its way into the region, and guess what happens? As we move along in time, here comes this low that ejects now and becomes a cutoff low. We've got the cold air in place, and let me tell you something. This is going to bring a ton of winter precipitation all across the area as that low moves in from the west and starts to move through the area. And this could be a prolonged winter weather event. And then beyond that, we've got the jet stream diving from northwest to southeast, and that is going to bring the potential for some really cold weather just beyond this weather system. So quite an active weather forecast. So just to recap, tomorrow, quiet. Temperatures in the middle to upper 30s and lower 40s. As we move into Friday morning, freezing rain potential in the morning, lasting throughout the late morning. You'll be able to see the precipitation start to increase from the computer models as they get a handle from that northwest flow. And then beyond that, we've got the potential for severe weather, thunderstorms, spring-like weather, hail, lightning, also the possibility of damaging winds, and wouldn't be surprised to see a few rotating thunderstorms with the potential for tornadoes in Arkansas. I really think that is possible with the amount of wind shear, if those storms can be surface-based. Then on Sunday, a light wintry mix as the system moves east, and then Thursday into Friday of next week, at the end of next week, that's when we get our next winter weather system that will be a significant winter storm, and will bring some cold air behind it. So quite a bit to talk about. That's why I wanted to give you this webcast extra. Of course, all these details will be refined as we get closer and into the active weekend as well. Keep it here with your weather authority. We'll keep you up to date with the latest.